I want to welcome everybody into the 5 ways to elevate your t-shirt brand here in 2025. Let's get 2025 kicked off right. And here at Transfer Express, we have a wide network of decorators we talk to, as well as the wide network of decorators at stalls, and touching on a lot of important tips that we've heard that help decorators succeed in past years, and new strategies we've seen from our folks in the marketing industry that could help you grow your business this year. So we have a lot to get through, but we've got 5 ways and actionable items that you could take from this seminar here today and make an impact in your business. And then in a month or 2 months, I want to see you back in one of these webinars or over on our Transfer Express YouTube channel to share how some of these successes or some of these strategies have helped fuel your success. Of course, if you're new, my name is Dave with Transfer Express and Stalls. I've been in the apparel decorating industry for 15 years. I learned how to screen print on my kitchen table way back when. I have worked through a few different commercial print shops of varying scale and size. In pretty much any way you could put ink on a substrate, from offset printing to sublimation, direct to garment screen printing, and yes, even heat applied products like the heat transfers that we're going to talk a little bit about today. Mostly we're going to be focused on t-shirt business goals. So regardless of how you are decorating apparel, but we've got some really hot tips for your heat press that'll be included here today. With Transfer Express, you'd expect nothing less, right? But I have seen so many different ways and so many decorators start up and different ways to decorate apparel. And I am always focused on success, right? So minimizing the expenses, minimizing the time it takes while maximizing your profit is a good recipe to get started with some success. We are going to cover some things here today, and we'll get right into the agenda. And as this slide slips over to our agenda slide, I do want to also mention that Mike here behind the scenes with Transfer Express is able to answer your questions if I'm focused on the content, trying to get us through the hour here today and not go too far over our allotted time. Mike will be able to answer questions or drop links for things I'm talking about to direct you in the right way. Absolutely no gatekeeping here. We are 100% here today to help your business grow, regardless of how you are decorating apparel, regardless if you are a custom decorator or if you're running your own brand. There's going to be actionable tips in here for both of them. So a few things we're going to be covering today that's going to help grow your business here or elevate your brand. And number 1 is going to be branding your shirts. The easiest way to get your name out there and build that brand awareness for what you do and who you are, right? Because we're going to get so much deeper than just your business, right? We're going to get into the why. Why are you doing this? Because it's going to help in your marketing strategy. So branding your business, getting your name out there, getting your logo out there, getting people accustomed to seeing your business. The main kind of general marketing rule that we've always adhered to is you have to make 7 touch points with somebody, whether it be online, in person, before they even consider purchasing from you, right? So every single little touch point that you could make adds up and makes a big difference. And while it may seem trivial at first, you're going to see the benefits of it as it starts to snowball. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about packaging, right? So packaging takes that experience of working with you, whether it just be custom t-shirts, and makes it so much more. It makes it memorable, right? I know sometimes it's still fun to rip open the Amazon packages, but in cardboard boxes or just a bulk stack of shirts, it's not as fun as having an experience that helps your business stand out, get you new customers, or build that repeat business, right? So we're going to touch a little bit on packaging and some different ways that you could incorporate it, from kind of the DIY and very low budget, scalable at any quantity, or the absolute mass-produced poly bags, printed, stuff like that. So regardless of what you're doing or how you're selling, whether you're running your own brand or even branding boxes, right, for those bulk orders, at least giving it something that's better than a Port and Company box, right? I'm guilty of it, right? I deliver so many orders in the boxes that apparel arrives in to me from Sanmar or wherever you're getting your apparel, right? And it comes in that nice big Port and Company box, and I put it right back in, and I tuck it back up, and I go deliver it to my customer. But that's giving Port and Company a whole bunch of good branding. Even if those shirts are a district or sometimes even a next level or whatever you might get, whoever the distributor is sending it to you is going to send it to you in a random box. And I love reducing, reusing, and recycling, right? So I'll reuse those boxes. But that's not a great experience if you're trying to build your brand and truly have your brand be memorable, right? Think of Apple products, right? You open Apple products and opening the box is an experience. You remember it. It makes you feel a certain way. And emotion's going to come up a little bit as we go through here today because it's the way that the general kind of public and consumers are connecting with brands is having an emotional connection. And that sounds like, what are you talking about, Dave? This is going to get super crazy. We're breaking it down, okay? We're going to break it down and kind of break down exactly what that means. And again, some actionable steps that you could take to take advantage of it and connect with your customers. So after that, we're going to cut into some sales strategies. So some ways that you could start to sell more. I was just on a marketing panel at the Ink Kitchen during the Impressions Expo, and we talked a lot about some sales strategies. So these are definitely going to help you out. One thing to always keep in mind, just high level when we talk about sales strategies, is it's so much easier to keep your current customers happy and sell more to your current customers than have to go out and get new customers. Getting new customers is always more expensive and it takes more of your time. And if you get a good system in place, you have a very, very powerful business. But keeping your current customers, number one, loyal to you and feeling super excited about the experience could be the biggest thing for you. And it's not necessarily in the slides later, but the best marketing you could ever do to your business is have your customers be so happy with the experience that they are fanatics and they will go shout it from the rooftops to anybody who asks, hey, where'd you get those t-shirts from, right? I got them from Dave. Let me tell you about this experience. That's the best thing because having somebody that they trust, that they've engaged with, it's not a sales pitch, right? That is a testimonial. So keep your current customers happy. And we're going to talk about sales strategies that you could do that, give them value, and also make more money in the process. So that's sales strategies. Then that emotional connection that I was talking about, we're going to get into your brand's story. And this isn't super complicated. You don't have to get super deep into it. It's not going to be obtrusive to your marketing strategy, but just doing these small little steps is going to make a profound difference on your business here this year if you are not already doing it. And I'm going to imagine that a lot of us here live today, just in the chat, are already kind of flexing their brand story or their why on some of their marketing, whether it be social media. We'll cover it a little bit, but let me know in the chat here if you are kind of using some of your brand story in your marketing on social media, or if you're kind of using your personality rather than just being a business, right? So, and we'll get a good kind of look at our audience here today attending live on the webinar. Of course, this will be recorded. So if you have to dip out at any time, you do miss out on some of the live interactivity and, hey, wait, what was that? Could you cover that again? We're always happy to dive into more info, and which is why sometimes we go over an hour time slot on our webinar, but it's all information. As long as you're asking questions, we are going to be here to help your business out. And then we're wrapping all of it up with expanding your product offering and diversifying the solutions of what you could offer for your customers or your own brand. So are you guys ready? Let's dive right in. I see Scotty always calling out. Thanks to Mike and the behind the scenes here. Eddie and Miriam from Ohio. Hey, we're in Ohio right now. Headquarters of Transfer Express, just outside Cleveland, Ohio. And of course, on the West Coast, we have our Chandler, Arizona facility right outside of Phoenix. Let's see. Lorraine, Ohio. Eddie Brown. Wow, look at that. So many Ohioans around there. All right. Just got back into my business in 2024. That does count, Scotty. That does count. Just getting started this year. Just getting started. New, but been talking about it for years. Well, Candace, I am glad you're here. Hopefully this is going to fire you up and you're going to be ready to accelerate here this year. We want to see you have some success. John's just started April, May of 2024, so less than a year. New here, just starting out, new to the business, just started in 2024. Maddie's just getting started. Kelsey started in 2024 and learned it fast. Started with everything else and now getting into shirts, getting a spot at a local shop to advertise and sell. That's great. We could talk a little bit about that. Not new to printing on DTF. So yes, definitely DTF's been around for a couple years, but definitely new for a lot of decorators and making it easier than ever and super simple for any decorator to get in. 25 years in embroidery. Awesome. So we have a fairly good mix here. A lot of folks just getting started, but like SJ here, been doing embroidery since 2021, just adding the heat press now, which is a story I hear a lot talking to folks just being in, in and out of the trade shows here. Hobby since 2021, restarting and hoping the market is still going for vinyl engraving and DTF, and it absolutely is. 2 years in, Coldesi printer and a brick and mortar. Yeah, that's one way to keep it going. Couple years, went out on your own recently. This is awesome, awesome, awesome. And Kelsey says, the biggest thing I want to do is standing out from the rest. Where we see this chat, it's so saturated in Ohio. And it is in a way, but when you find your own market and find your own lane, right? When you go to these events and shows, you meet thousands of decorators, which makes it seem super, super saturated. But everybody kind of finds that one little niche, right? And that's one thing that, like, when you are starting out, find something that you're really going to hone in on a market. And I use this analogy, like if you look at a dartboard, right? You're playing darts, you look at a dartboard and you don't really aim anywhere, right? You're not really going to hit anything. But if you aim at the bullseye and look at the bullseye and focus on throwing that dart right at the bullseye, if you're like me, you'll still miss the bullseye, but you're going to get close, right? And so that's the thing, that you want to have a focus of where you're going to go. And then that allows you to equip you with the tools, what's going to make the difference for that market, right? So your local industry, say you want to focus on local schools, right? Maybe that's not crowded, right? Because there's no other local decorator right in your own hometown, or even if they are, maybe they're not focused on those local schools, right? So what is going to set you apart? What's going to be your value differentiator between Custom Ink or any of these national shops? Okay, I'm going to be able to meet with you. I'm going to be able to do rush turnaround, right? I maybe donate a proceeds back to the local community because I'm a supporter of them, right? And this is going to get into some of the emotional connection in your story, but you see how I'm setting this up, that like these things matter, especially in saturated markets, but anywhere you're going to connect with people. Businesses like to, or, businesses out there sometimes are very corporate, but you see even like the biggest, Capital One, right? They try to personify their brand into a guy. It's much more approachable to talk to one person than it is to talk to a national worldwide conglomerate bank, right? So like you are humanizing it and you're relating to people on an emotional level and solving their problems. So when you focus on that specific audience that you want to serve, solve their specific problems, and they're going to forget about anybody else, right? So especially when you're like supporting the Booster Club and they're like, wow, yeah, Custom Ink is never going to cut us a check to the Athletic Booster Club, right? That's going to stand you apart. So we're going to get back on track here and talk about branding t-shirts, right? So this is one of the best ways that you could start to elevate your brand, build some brand recognition, and possibly even add a differentiator that other decorators, possibly even in your own local market, aren't even touching. And there are decorators that are commercial screen printing shops that I know of that are like, nah, that's not really something that we do, or they price it so astronomically high because it isn't conducive to their setup. It's not, they can't efficiently print inside tags, right? But my number one story that I really love to tell about inside tags is a decorator I was talking to who was doing local farmers market t-shirts, right? And they start printing their own, they were a custom printer, they were printing their own logo on the back, right? On the inside tag in that location. They were rebranding some cheap Gildan's or Fruit of the Loom or like Hanes shirts, right? So number one, it increases the perceived value. I love the Port & Company PC54 fan favorite t-shirt. It feels like it's a next level t-shirt, but it's about half the cost, right? But anybody could look at that tag and it says Port & Company fan favorite. They could Google search it, and even still, you could go find a Port & Company fan favorite t-shirt maybe on Amazon for like $5 or $6, right? So it's like a cheap t-shirt by retail standards. It costs a lot less than that when you buy wholesale, though, for decorators like me and you, right? Don't tell anybody else about that, right? I want them to think it's a little bit more expensive, right? But when they could Google that, they now have a finite value of what that shirt on the market costs, right? So when you say, yeah, you're buying 12 of these, I'm going to need to charge you $12 or $13 for this shirt. They're like, surely the print cost is not worth 10 or 12 or $15. This dude's ripping me off, right? But as soon as you remove that inside tag and either put their own brand on the inside or your brand, you immediately increase the value of that, right? And you could build that customer loyalty, just like this story that I was starting to tell is this farmer's market, right? They focused, their niche was local community, small businesses, schools, and events, right? That is what they did. They wanted to serve their community, and they were an active participating member in their community, which is what won them work, what won them this farmer's market job. But as part of the sponsorship, they said, hey, we're going to give you, 10% off the entire order of shirts if we could put our business on the inside. If on the outside, there's no like big sponsor sheet or anything like that, right? Branded to the farmer's market, but they knew their local audience was coming every Saturday morning and that they wanted to support this farmer's market. So they were buying merch, tote bags, t-shirts, stuff like that, right? Well, those shirts sit in the closet. And when somebody needs to buy merch, they go, hey, I wear that farmer's market t-shirt all the time. That print's still holding up. I like the way it wears. I don't know what t-shirt it is, but man, there's a brand on the inside here. Let me call them as my first call because I know it was my local community, right? So now it's not only building customer loyalty, but it's giving you marketing potential to anybody who wears that shirt, especially when you're a custom decorator. Now, if you are a custom decorator and operating for brands, this could set you apart and be that differentiator when the other shop down the street says, no, we don't do rebranding, or we do, but it's going to add an extra $3 or $4, right? Well, with screen printed transfers, you essentially could get the printing for free on a gang sheet. And with something like we see here on screen, the tag along platen, which allows you to print the front of the shirt and the inside tag at the same exact time, that you are able to essentially charge whatever you want, whether it be 50 cents or $1 extra for this added location. You're giving your customer the value of, oh, it's only $1 extra. You're giving you the added revenue of essentially getting printing for free and taking 4 seconds to decorate this location. And you're making your customer happy and meeting their needs in the process. So it's a win-win for everybody involved, right? But it just something as simple, right? I'm sure you have t-shirts already, and you may already be decorating inside neck tags, right? Maybe on a cap press or turning the shirt inside out. This is huge for retail brands. If you are operating your own clothing brand, right? You need that brand awareness. You need that brand recognition. Gildan doesn't need recognition. Even if you're using nice stuff like Bella Canvas or Next Level Blanks, they don't need that recognition. Own that shirt. Make it represent your brand. And every time somebody puts it on, they're going to see your business and you're going to stay top of mind. Hopefully they love the shirt and wear it all the time, right? But then you're going to put things in there that's going to help your business stand out. Now, the things that you do have to put in there are actually legally mandated, right? I like this one. I use this all the time in a lot of the classes that I give. And when I talk to decorators, closed captioning, right? That was actually a joke from the federal government on the Federal Trade Commission's website, which is too good. And you never hear the federal government joke like that. And I'm a big fan of puns. So the legal requirements of what you need on an inside tag on your shirt might actually surprise you, right? So number one, fabric content. We need to say if it's 50% polyester, 50% cotton, if it's a 60-40 blend or 100% polyester, whatever it may be, right? You need to disclose the fabric content. You also need to disclose the country of origin. This is for all of those trade laws, and I know we might have some tariffs coming down that's going to jack the price up of importing from certain countries. So they need to know where the garment is manufactured. And so you'll typically see that. You could find that information on the inside tag that's already there. And of course, all of this requirement here is only if you are removing the tag. And you'll also find a lot of this information, the legal stuff, on a hem tag on the inside, right? So a side seam on the wearer's left-hand side will sometimes carry this information. So as long as it's in the garment somewhere, you aren't responsible for it. But if it's all on that inside neck tag, say on like a tubular tee, and you remove it, technically, legally, to sell that garment in the United States, whether you're shipping it or not, it needs to have this information, right? Kind of like when you buy a mattress and there's that tag like, removable only by consumer. That's exactly what these branded tags are. But the federal government actually does regulate this, right? So you have your country of origin, you have your fabric content, you need a company name. So if the government, for any reason, needs to get a hold of you, it could be your name. It could also be supplemented by an RN number. If you ever looked at the inside of garments, in some cases for like those really super blanks, right? Like that aren't branded to any company or any garment mill. They will just have RN number, and that's like 6 or 9 digits, right? That also supplements because the government could look up your RN number and find out what company is selling these in the United States. So it could be the RN number of the original manufacturer, technically, if it's in there, because they imported them into the country. But I always like putting my own brand name because otherwise, like, it's great to have your own logo in there and your own brand name too. So I'll put those in there. And then the fourth and final legal requirement, which might actually surprise you, is care instructions for the garment. So these little logos are standardized. So these technically satisfy the requirement for the care environment or the care instructions, right? And I think this one is cold wash with the 2 dots. Tumble dry low is the 2 dots again. Do not iron and no triangles. I don't know that one exactly offhand, but essentially that's the care instructions for almost any decorated t-shirt. Wash inside out, cold water wash, or warm water. You don't want to go into high heat. You also want to tumble dry in a low or medium setting, or hang dry. I like hang drying all my t-shirts because there's nothing like finding a sweet t-shirt and then you put it on and it feels great and you wash it and dry it one time and that one time in the dryer and it just feels weird. Even like super high-end ones, they just aren't the same. So I hang dry all my t-shirts because I love the way they fit from that fresh from the mill fit. And just washing them doesn't change it too much. But I've had some, like, especially when you get those cheaper t-shirts, I'm not going to mention any specific brands, but usually they're the brands that you'll never hear me mention, where like you wash it and one sleeve just like shrinks up and it's 6 inches shorter than the other one. It's just all because of the inconsistent quality of materials, or they roll the fabric out and cut it and don't allow it to kind of stretch and form back after it's knit together. When you get into the specifics of it, fabric is very weird. But back to our inside tags, one thing that you should absolutely put on it, but it's not mandated by law because it's pretty much just made up and there is no standard. It's sizing, right? Put your size on there. It's number one. Very easy if you are at a farmer's market or a craft fair or a festival and selling shirts. People want to see what size it is, right? We all know general sizing, but then I'm sure we've all been in that boat where you pull that shirt off the shelf. You're like, yeah, this is a large. It's totally going to fit me. And then you go home and put it on and like, no, it totally doesn't fit you, right? And you need to size up. So that's why the sizing isn't necessarily standardized, and the government necessarily doesn't care about the size. They care about what essentially is in the blue box here. I also love to recommend putting your website or a QR code on there too, right? So if someone were to have one of your shirts and they want to place an order for their own shirts, or maybe they want to replace the one because they got a ketchup stain on it or whatever, right? They want to be able to purchase it. Give them the ways that they could go get it, right? So get them a new shirt, or contact your business to sell more. We see with DTF, right? DTF coming out now, you're able to get such fine detail that you could actually print a scannable QR code that after the garment's even washed 50 times, you could still scan the QR code. And isn't that a testament to your quality right there? That a QR code is able to be scanned 2-3 years after somebody's worn and loved that garment, right? So if I saw that on a shirt, yeah, you bet I'm going to be going there to get my family reunion, or hey, maybe my landscaping company needs new shirts, right? I know these guys are local. I met them at the farmer's market, right? So you see how all of these can kind of build up and be a big aspect of your business. So like Nilda says, I live in a border town and Mexico is my biggest competitor. Sure, Mexico is probably going to sell it dirt cheap compared to what you're able to produce them for. Any bulk, right? But I was just talking to, I don't know where you are, Nilda. I was just talking to a decorator in Texas, right? And their average order value, they're a huge contract shop, right? Impress Designs. They were a really cool bunch, Nathan and Charlie down there. But they're like average order size is like 100,000 pieces, right? So of course they're going to be able to get those prices lower than what you could afford them for. But is somebody going to send an order to Mexico to be able to have it produced for 6 quantity? For 12 quantity, even 24. So can you stand out right there with minimum quantities? Also, because they have such large runs, they're probably at least a 10 to 12 business day turnaround time. And I'm almost positive that you could beat that. So right there, you've added 2 value differentiators that can help stand you apart from somebody who maybe was going across the border for some shirts, right? Also, any importing or getting held up in customs, any international shipping, regardless of where you're shipping from or shipping to, can hold up an order even more. So what's your market? Like if you're going towards a market that has any timely events, right? And they have specific set dates, we need these shirts by, hey, maybe outsourcing this and going with an international company isn't the best move. You should go with me, right? Boom. Value differentiators right there, right? Very, very important. Scotty says, I personally add my tag label to my goof-proof sheets. You're getting ahead of us. You're getting ahead of us here, Scotty. Slow it down. We'll get there in just a second here. But it's super easy to create these tags too, regardless if they are for you or another customer, all with the EasyView Online Designer. So super easy to be able to get in there and quickly edit tags as you need them to be. So, Steve, thank you. Dave, the triangle means no bleach. So no bleach. There was a no triangle, no bleach. See, look at that. Boom, boom. Thank you, Steve. I love the community here. See, I'm learning something new today, and you're learning something new today too. Let's go on over, and I am actually going to screen share here. We're going to jump over to EasyView Online Designer, and I'm going to show you how we could create tags very, very quickly and very easily, right? So you should see transferexpress.com right here, all nice big on our screen. We're just going to click Order Transfers or EasyView Online Designer. Now, everybody has access right now to EasyView Online Designer. All you have to do, if you don't already have a Transfer Express account, go sign up for one. We're not even going to ask you for a credit card, right? So there is literally no monetary risk involved at all. You have a super powerful designer online at your fingertips on any device. So it doesn't have to be a super powerful MacBook, high, overclocked gaming PC that could run Photoshop and Illustrator. No, any internet connected device, even Chromebooks that can't even run Adobe products, right? Or Corel Draw, right? No subscriptions, no nothing. You have access to this right now. So just go sign up for a free account and jump into EasyView Online Designer. Now, what I'm going to do to pull up all of these layouts that we were just looking at is go up here and click Add Layouts. I'm going to click on Dealer Only, and we're going to click Shirt Tags, right? So you'll see all of our different shirt tags right in here, ready to go. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on this one, QTG7. And just like anything in the EasyView Online Designer, number one, I saw Scotty was mentioning gang sheets in there, right? This is our dotted line for our screen print transfer gang sheet. In the bottom left-hand corner right here, I have to look around my microphone because my microphone's right there. You can see we could even select different transfer types. We're just going to keep it screen print and goof proof. All of those screen printed looks, the feels, the durability of a screen print on just a carrier. So all you need is a heat press. I was mentioning right at the top, when we got started, that it definitely that made me think my entire life was a lie the first time I peeled a screen print transfer. But just signing up for an account at Transfer Express 2 is going to get you a whole bunch of free samples that you could start to try. You could apply with your heat press and see the quality, feel the quality of these heat transfers for yourself. And just like me, who came from the traditional screen printing world, direct to garment world, right, commercial print shops, that I was shocked and amazed. And where has this been my entire life, right? So we're back into EasyView here, off Dave's tangent, and I just zoomed in. So right here we see that we do have our width, right? So we could select this. It's going to tell us our width and height. So if we need to change this to say 3 inches, it resizes automatically. Even if we just want to drag this and change it, it's going to let us know right here in the edit menu at all times. But my favorite part is literally you could just click in here, and I'm just going to have this say Dave's Tees, right? And if I wanted to change this to any other font, I sure can, right? If I want to make it all caps, Dave's Tees, or even if I wanted to load in my own logo, if you have your own logo, just click upload right here, and we could click upload and upload our own vector file or our own raster file, whatever your logo file type is, whether it's PDF, JPEG, PNG, AI, or an SVG, you could load it right on in. I always recommend, it's a lot easier with the vector files, so the PDF, AI files, SVGs, but if you don't have that, that's okay, right? That's okay. We're here to help your business, not pick apart your art files. So we just changed this, and just the way that we changed that text, hey, this is going to be a large shirt, and I want to delete this. So I'm just going to click 50% polyester, delete, and we'll click in here and just say 100% cotton, right? You can move any of these elements around. If I don't care about bleaching, now that we know that this triangle means no bleach, I can just delete it. I just click delete, or you can click the little trash can up here. So super easy. You can see how intuitive and super easy this is, right? And once we're all set, we can adjust our URL there too. Say we're going to be printing these on black tees. We could go ahead and grab our ink color and say, let's just make it white. So you see how much control we have here in the EasyView Online Designer, and we have this entire sheet here too. So say you just want to grab it, and we could fill up the whole sheet with this, or like Scotty was saying, if you have your own artwork, right? So like, let's just go in here, and there's more artwork than just the tag layouts in here. So like all of this artwork that you see in here, regardless if it's for schools or, you know, mascots, right? We could go down to just look at mascot layouts, or if we just go to basic and you see these bestsellers, right? All of these are fully customizable. I'm just going to go back down here to promo layouts. I love this little raccoon guy, right? And so we're going to pull him in. And if we wanted to remove some of these stars or move them around, we totally could, right? Even if we wanted to switch this out to a different piece of clip art, right? Snowman, boom. Now our snowman is looped in there. Of course, this would look better as like a black file than a white file, or white ink here as we see this. So let me just go ahead and grab this little star back over here and pull this back out, right? And I'm just going to change this then to say Frosty, right? So whatever you want to do, now we're editing all this stuff. My favorite thing about the Online Designer, before we do just jump out of here, but I want to show you the customization, but you could also go in here and just use apparel and mock this up, right? So even though we have a full gang sheet we're working on, I'm just going to say selection only. We could turn the watermark off. And now we just went from like an idea to a mocked up shirt, right? That you're going to be able to take to your customer and say, here, let's bring it to life, right? So a great way to be able to do that is the EasyView Online Designer, free, always to use, no subscription needed. And yeah, really great, really, really great. So we will keep moving on here. When we talk about creating all those branded tags, here you could see a gang sheet right behind me that has the full artwork, maybe a left chest print, and then all of those inside tag prints as well that you're able to produce on there. So regardless of how you're decorating apparel, or why you're decorating apparel, or who you're decorating apparel to, that you could just change those, right? And you could sell them to your customer, be able to put them in there, and real easy and cost effective when you just build them around a gang sheet, right? Let's see. Carol says it would be great to have an EasyView layout for tags that already incorporates a place for a QR code. That is a fantastic idea, and we should absolutely note that. I'm going to grab that QR code layouts, because we have an entire staff of designers in there who are adding new layouts into the designer every single week so that you could be relevant with current trends without having to stay up to date and being the fashionista, right? I know I'm not, but everywhere I go, I always have my eyes open. I went to art school, still paying the student loans for going to art school. So I am a creative at heart, and I'm always, my eyes are always open looking at what's currently trending in the industry. But we have a staff of designers who that is their passion, to bring current trends to life with customizable layouts. When we went into those trending designs, did you see some that look like those kind of retro throwback, kind of like college prep graphics, right? That are really currently trending right now? Yes, right? So they're seeing what's on the shelves at Target and Old Navy, going across Etsy, and what's selling now. And they are taking artwork, making it so it's a little bit generic, not stealing anything, but being inspired by those current trends and even some of the biggest names in the industry, so that you could have royalty-free artwork that you could easily create in there, right? All dedicated to your success. So definitely something in there. Leandra says, any update on adding new fonts to EasyView? I believe there are some coming soon. So if anybody asks you, I did not tell you that though, okay? Just our secret here today. Nilda says, didn't know the selection only. Yeah, so like there are tons of little controls in there in EasyView Online Designer, and don't be intimidated if you're just getting started. Number one, again, I said I went to art school, and it took me a long time to be a pro at Photoshop and Illustrator. There's probably an hour-long class that you could find on YouTube on the Transfer Express YouTube page, or just a playlist of little bite-sized 2-minute videos that show you what each individual little feature does in there. In sitting down and playing with EasyView in about an hour, you could be an absolute pro, right? But even if you don't have that time, pulling a layout in, making a few little edits is going to take you just minutes, right? You saw how I did it. Just click into things, type, change the font, change the color, add things up, arrange them out. And then you could even get quoting and costing right there in the EasyView Online Designer too, right? So very, very, very inexpensive because it's free 99, right? Doesn't cost anything. There's no subscription ever to use that. And you could order your transfers. You could save them in there and order them whenever you need, right? Zach says, is there a date when the 2025 marketing package, the marketing kit, will be available? And that is the brand new idea book. And I don't have an exact date. If Mike, you have an exact date and you feel comfortable quoting that, go ahead and put it in the chat section for us. You'll see it from Transfer Express. But I will tell you very soon, very soon. It was supposed to be this week. And I think they're just wrapping up a few things to ensure that logistically it could ship, right? We could take pre-sales, but we don't want to do that. We want you to feel confident that your kit's going to arrive, within 2 days of you ordering it, and that you're going to be able to take advantage of that, and that we have everything set and we don't have to say, hey, there's a typo in this or something, right? We want to make sure it's all good for you. But great question, Zach. And we'll see if Mike could answer it there, but very, very soon, right? All right. Packaging, right? Next up, when we talk about building that experience with your products, it's so much more than the regular custom bags and boxes, right? But that is definitely a start. I will say that when I ship t-shirts out for my own t-shirt brand, they are in, unfortunately, an unbranded poly bag. I just haven't really marketed the brand too much, but I do slap a sticker on it. So it's a black poly bag, just bought some poly mailers from Amazon, and I do put a sticker on the outside of every single one. So it is kind of custom. But you could go to a whole bunch of places around on the internet, and it's on the top of my list to get a fully custom bag. So you have that branded experience, right? Amazon boxes, even though a lot of times they are plain and they are brown, you see the smile on the side or you see the tape, and you instantly know it is an Amazon package, right? They've built that brand awareness. You see the Amazon smile everywhere, especially on every single van that you see driving to work every day, right? It's all over everywhere. But this is going to be that brand visibility and recognition, especially if you are starting your own brand or you want to increase your visibility in your target market with some of that recognition, right? And we're going to see some examples here for a whole bunch of different markets in just a couple slides. You have that enhanced experience where it isn't just opening a cardboard box. You are opening an experience, and it's an extension of your brand, right? In this e-commerce world that we live in now, not everybody has the luxury of having a storefront where you could walk in and get the vibe of the place, right? Like, ooh, I love the way it looks in here. This feels like me, right? But you could bring that experience to your customer, even if they're just buying online, right? So you could put some of those elements in here. And also, like we mentioned earlier, very, very cost-effective marketing, right? So you see the Amazon smile and go, oh yeah, I did need to pick up some new dishwasher pods or whatever, right? And you're going to think of Amazon, right? We want people in your niche to see your packaging and go, I know they just had a new drop. I got to go see what they have, right? I saw it on Instagram. I forgot about it, right? Those 7 touch points where you're going to build your brand, elevate your services, right? And help you stand out. Super, super important stuff to do. So here, let's get into just some custom bags and boxes. And very similar to how I'm just slapping a sticker on poly bags, you could easily take goof-proof screen printed transfers, Ultra Color Max, direct-to-film transfers, or Ultra Color Pro, and apply them to cardboard boxes or paper bags. Super easy, right? So when we're talking about gang sheet, you could have those extra prints. Maybe you went up a little bit to get the quantity break, or maybe you did that single image program, right? And you have a whole bunch of those just center chest logos. You could easily put them on any cardboard box, pretty much any product that could fit under a heat press, and it looks phenomenal, right? I thought I had one here that had that had the Ultra Color Max on a box, but it's super easy. You're going to be shocked of how easy it is. Ultra Color Max, of course, you pay for that, but it could be mere cents, right? If you're doing a small decoration or something like this, that's probably less than $1 per print and looks a whole lot better than a sticker. If you were to get that box printed from a box manufacturer, they might say, oh, minimum quantity is 250 and it's going to be $3 or $4 a box. And you're like, man, I'm just starting out. I don't have money for that yet. But you could still get that branded experience by using the same heat transfers that you're decorating on apparel. Something really, really great, right? Here we see like for a full bachelor party, right? Where it's this whole kit. So it's like you're branding the box. Everything is really branded, and it feels like that whole experience. And like, man, I would love to go to a bachelor party or a bachelorette party that has this full branded kit. How thoughtful is it? It's an experience. It's that unexpected delight of opening that package, right? Which becomes memorable, right? We remember it. And for somebody to remember your brand, or if they get that feeling of like, oh, I made the right decision, or I feel like this brand gets me, right? That's going to really make them second guess or reconsider whenever they think going anywhere else other than using you and your services. So it really helps your business or brand stand out. Now, this is some really fun packaging ideas for specific markets, right? So whether you're in food service or like this one for Bet's Barbecue, right? It's in a barbecue tin and there is an actual t-shirt inside there folded up, right? So it looks like you're having some take-home barbecue, but it's actually a t-shirt, right? And some really clever ideas for packaging specifically for that kind of carry-out container. Think of this at like if somebody's carrying this around, it's eye-catching, right? And it's relevant to the niche. Now, like that little oil can, Premium Motorsports Custom Apparel. Now, that is just a sticker wrapped around a shipping tube that just got cut up into little sections. So when you're talking about really cost-effective packaging, that's a winner. But also now, when we're talking about maybe car meets, right? Any local racing, right? Now you have a package that is so relevant, and I guarantee there's nobody else at that track or at that event who has that packaging. And people just are going to look at the packaging and go, whoa, what's in there, right? Oh, this is, and then you own it. Oh, that's that guy who prints the shirts, man. It's going to help you stand out. It becomes this experience. And is somebody going to throw away that little oil can with your branding on it? Probably not, right? So that marketing potential of it sitting around in their shop, in their garage, or whatever it may be, right, is going to elevate your brand against any competition that's currently out there. You got it, right? So Neato burrito, you think that's a burrito? Nope, it's a rolled up t-shirt wrapped in foil and dressed like a burrito, right? So it's fun, it's clever. It starts to play at emotions, right? Because then it's like, oh, this is funny. I thought this was a burrito, right? It's that humor element. It's connecting with people more than just a transaction. Same with, say, like the Romano's Deli one, right? Where it's just a sticker holding a wrapped t-shirt and rolled t-shirt like it's a sub, right? I don't know anybody, if you're familiar with Johnny Cupcakes, it's a brand, right? A t-shirt brand. I think they might have a few locations out there, maybe LA. I know that they have one in Boston, maybe New York City. But the whole thing is that you walk in and it feels like you're at a bakery. When you get a t-shirt, you leave with it in a little like pastry box. It's the whole branded experience that really sets them apart. So if you're unfamiliar with Johnny Cupcakes, just go Google search it and you're gonna be like, oh my God, this is genius. Like the shirts are displayed in donut cases and stuff, right? Like it truly is that different experience. It's something memorable that really helped them build that brand. And then we're going to get into bundling here in a minute, but you can see that one for a brewery inside an item, inside a koozie, right? And even suggesting something like packaging, like if you're working with those local breweries, right? You're going to suggest, hey, what if we rolled these all up? You're doing this for an event, your 5th year anniversary. What if we rolled these up and put them in a koozie, right? I could get those koozies to you for an extra $2 or $3 each. And I'll roll them up and kit them for you. So when you go hand them out, we'll just organize them all by size. And when people come to register or sign in to the event, you just hand them, here's your koozie, here's your t-shirt, right? All bundled together. Custom Ink is never going to suggest that, right? Your local library. hey, we need t-shirts for our annual whatever event they're doing. And you go, hey, you think about using some tote bags too, right? It's building value because Custom Ink's never going to say that. People are going to be checking out books. They're going to need stuff to carry it by. Maybe they want to raise more funds, right? Not everybody's going to wear a t-shirt, but guess what? Everybody coming to the library is coming to check out books. They're probably going to use a tote bag. It's going to be also a lower cost. So you're going to say, hey, I want you guys to be as successful as you can be with this fundraiser. What if we added some tote bags here too? They're really inexpensive, and I think they might widen your audience. Boom. Now you have become the expert, right? And now you are selling more to that local customer. But you can see this example, it applies to all of these different markets. And we're getting ahead of ourselves with some of the bundling ideas, right? So here, just want to get in, right? To the little food containers, right? Something just fun like those pre-printed polka dots with a sticker on it makes it look incredible, right? Or say for a plant company, it does come with a little planting kit, right? So it's a full kit that you're able to really start to build value in it, or fueled by coffee, and it's in a coffee bag. Corrado says, can you or anyone recommend some reasonably priced custom poly bag companies? There is one that I have used in the past, and there's a couple out there, but Sticker Mule usually has, I would wait for the sale, where it's 50 bags for $20 or something. They are stupid sales, and take advantage of that. They are full color poly bags. And I think I actually have one from this next page, this Sawgrass and Smith poly bag, full front. So full, entire full dimensions of those poly bags. You could get them dark or light colored, and they look like that. So that is a full color printed poly bag, which I would say is, at least a poly bag in general, is the bare minimum, especially when you're shipping shirts. Please don't put them in boxes if you're shipping them, right? I want to keep your costs low, and poly mailers are there's a reason why everybody uses them. They are by far the cheapest. Now, there was one company, I wish I would remember the name. They were just at the Promotional Products Expo, the PPAI Expo in Long Beach, or in Las Vegas 2 weeks ago. They were actually full color printed paper poly mailers, which I guess they're not poly mailers when they're made out of paper, but they were eco-friendly. The cost of them was a fraction of what the poly mailers are. And they promised that, or they said ships for about the same price as a regular poly mailer, because you want to keep the weight down, you want to keep the size down. Man, and I thought, I wish I remember the name of that company, because I wanted to be like, hey, I need some of these. These are pretty cool, right? And a great way to ship t-shirts or hoodies, right? I think that's the 9x12 size, perfect for t-shirts. The 10x13 or 10x15 size is going to be better if you're shipping multiple items, or hoodies inside those as well. So that's definitely one. Your local printer may be able to do them for a better price. And I have a lot of friends in the printing industry that would really kind of just probably swing at me for recommending a national company like that. But I want you guys to be successful. And sometimes those deals they give out are just absolutely too, they're losing money on it, right? I know that it costs more to print that and ship it to me, because it's free shipping on that too. So they're losing money on that, but me and you are taking advantage of it and benefiting our business. So cool. Great. Here we see some clear poly mailers, but just stuff like postcards, little thank you cards that you see on top of the Sawgrass and Smith one. Handwritten, especially when you're selling online, brings that personal touch, right? Helps bring that story. It's not just a faceless business, right? It's you. It's an entrepreneur. And if we've seen anything from the rise of TikTok, or maybe fall of TikTok, right? We'll see if it sticks around after this next 90 days. But it's been, people want to see the creator. People want to see the entrepreneur, right? And a little handwritten message, hey, thank you for supporting business. I know every single order I ship out, I have a packing slip, and I will sign it at the bottom and say, hey, thanks so much for supporting me, Dave, right? And just sign it. They might not know who Dave is. They could not care less who Dave is. But it shows that a real human put eyes on that order. It was created by a real human, and it wasn't just shoved through, the machine at some large print shop where it didn't make a difference, right? Where it makes a difference. And I hope that comes across to people there. So, yes. Nakira says best blank tees company. The best blank tees are probably, that's a very deep answer. If you do not have a tax ID or an EIN, you're just getting started, transferexpress.com. It's going to get you bulk wholesale rates without having to have a tax ID or a business license, right? If you do have a tax ID or a business license, gotta say, go to Sanmar. They are absolutely the best, widest catalog out there, the lowest prices in bulk. But you do need to have a business license and a tax ID. Not everybody could buy from them. But if you are serious about starting your business, apply for one for your state. I know here in Ohio, it's actually quite easy to set up an LLC, quite easy to get that tax ID number and a business license to operate and the sales tax certificate, right? So like it's fairly easy to get all of that, and it probably is in your state too. I know there's a few states that you have to like go through a little bit more of a process and get registered and pay a little bit more money to get all of that. But it all depends on your local jurisdiction, but something very, very important to get into, right? So get that and go to Sanmar, SANMAR. If you don't have that, transferexpress.com's got everything you need, right? So Sanmar, Zoltan, typing it in there. Perfect. And I saw Mike just put a link in there too, Transfer Express blank apparel, and it's transferexpress.com/apparel. Again, to see pricing, and you'll see even quantity breaks in there too. To see pricing, you will need to be logged into your account, but that's protected. So like your customer can't just go and be like, oh, I know how much that shirt is. I want them to print on Gildan 5000. I know it's $2.88, right? So all right, let's get into some sales strategies here. Thank you guys for hanging out. The demo and the questions are absolutely phenomenal. If you do have to bolt for any reason, just remember this is recorded, but you do lose a little bit of the interactivity as we go along. So especially when you're running your own brand, a sales strategy that you could employ is the limited edition. So this is the drop model, right? Where you're going to promote this ahead of time, build so much hype about it that people are going to be like, oh my God, I can't wait for this to drop. Oh, you just offer these little sneak peeks. And it's like, that looks awesome, right? It gives that exclusivity, right? There's only a limited quantity. We have a limited edition of these coming. You got to be ready to buy these when they drop on this date, right? You build the hype to it, you build the excitement, and you get people bookmarking that date. And then it launches, right? Even if everybody just doesn't flood back and be like, oh, we need to buy this, right? But whether it be there's a local shop here in the Cleveland area who does like sports themed or local centric t-shirts, right? So, of course, Ohio State Buckeyes just won the national championship. They don't have the licensing for Ohio State. So it's like a shirt that's like OH champions, right? Whatever it is that skirts the licensing for Ohio State. Stay away from collegiate, NFL, Disney, Marvel comic book stuff, right? I shouldn't have to tell you that, but there's a lot of people, and I've seen people's Etsy shops completely get taken down because of one copyrighted item or one licensed artwork that they did not have a license to. So please be careful about that. But what they do is they'll tease it the day before the game. Hey, they're going to be national champions. We are confident they're going to win. Here's just a little like corner of the graphic. And you're like, oh, that looks good. I like that texture. That looks sweet, right? And then you betcha, as soon as the final whistle blows, the game ends, they're slamming it on social media. Hey, limited edition drops tonight. We know these are going to sell out, right? And it gets people you start to kind of scratch that FOMO, right? Oh no, they're never going to be available again. I really do want that. It's $35. I'm going to buy it right now. I can't. I'm going to miss out on it. I don't want to miss out, right? So you get that, right? So when you're running your own brand, definitely something super important. You'll see this for fundraisers, even for local schools, local athletic teams, stuff like that. So like it really gets the good buzz about the shirt. But the best thing too is that your brand is front and center, especially when it's like getting a little bit of notoriety in your even local jurisdiction. The local high school teams going to states, let's get that drop. Hey, these are only going to be available one day because I want people to be able to wear these to the game. Or that big rivalry basketball game. Hey, don't miss out. Get the shirt, support the pride, right? All that stuff. All that you could use for any one of these markets, right? And Ratha, yes, Sticker Mule is a bit pricey. Wait for the sale. So sign up for their email news list or click on deals. And yes, not so pricey when they're on the flash deals. Oh man, somebody's going to see this on the internet and be like, oh. But yeah, I would just Google search, check around. I wish I could remember the name of that paper company because, man, those looked so cool. But that was at PPAI. Yep. So if anybody was at PPAI, Yeah. Leandra Hunt, do you recommend turning your apparel company into an LLC? 100%. Absolutely. If you're serious about it, even if you're not, I think in the state of Ohio, it costs $125 to register an LLC and essentially any liability. So if somebody says, hey, you stole my artwork, I'm suing you, you're not going to lose your house. You're not going to lose your car. All of your personal assets are completely separate from the business. It's also going to unlock like business banking accounts that are going to make it easy to kind of build that kind of financial system and easy trackability. So it's not mixed in with your personal finances. But yeah, 100% LLC is the best way to go to reduce personal liabilities. If you want to set up as a sole proprietor, it still is going to be, like I don't remember the exact name of it, but like that level of like, it's not an LLC. It's one step down from that. Don't do that. Go LLC. There are companies that can help you file online. If you have a lawyer already or somebody legally kind of inclined in your family, they would be really easy to help you navigate that system. I know the Ohio Secretary of State website has like a full checklist of like, this is what you need and this is the process, and it walks you through it super, super easy. So regardless of where you are, just check your local state, and they probably have a full checklist that's going to walk you through it. There are a ton of scams about it where like there are companies that are like, oh yeah, just have us do it and it's $600, when you literally could go direct to the state and pay, yes, $100, $125 and register an LLC in your name. There are some certain legalities of it when you get to the tax end. But it's going to allow you to easily unlock that tax ID number for the business, get a business license, all your sales tax, your reseller certificates, all that stuff makes it so super easy when you have that LLC. So yes, if you're serious about it, that's one of the first steps to really taking your business seriously here. So we talked about bundling a little bit here. So like it is that unique offering, right? So really the benefits to you is that you are able to get that unique offer to your customers. So it is the hey, you're doing that brewery event. Let's print some koozies. They're only going to be a couple bucks extra, maybe even cheaper than that, because you're able to fit that little logo on the gang sheet if you're already doing the shirts, right? So number one, it's also going to make your customers feel like they are getting a bundle, right? They're getting a value deal. Oh wow, it's only an extra buck. Last time we got koozies, we bought them separate and they were like $8 a piece, man. That's great. Cool. Let's do it, right? Because you're effectively doing them for just a marked up cost on the blank koozie, which could be, 50 cents sometimes, depending on the quantity that you're buying. So really the benefits are you're bringing more revenue in too, right? So you're selling more to the same customer. Just like how I talked about earlier, it's so much easier to make your current customers happy, keep them returning, and make more money off them than having to go out and continuously keep finding new customers. And things like quality, right? This is where using quality supplies, a quality heat press, and quality heat transfers are going to make a huge difference. Because 9 times out of 10, if your quality sucks, somebody's not going to call you up and be like, hey, so this is peeling off. Maybe 1 time out of 10, they're going to call you back. The other 9 times out of 10, they're just going to go to somebody else next time they need t-shirts. They'll write it up as a loss and they'll go to somebody else. You're never going to know why you lost that customer. And odds are, because you never knew why, you're going to continuously be making some of those mistakes with quality, right? We don't want that churn, right? You don't want a customer in the door and a customer out. We want to have clients. A customer is just a transactional order, right? A client you have a relationship with, who's always going to keep coming back to you, right? And some of the stuff that we're about to get into too is going to help build that, right? But even these suggestions of, hey, see, you're doing t-shirts for an event. Let me help you reach your goal. Let me help you solve your solution, right? You want branded merchandise. You want this promotional merchandise that's going to help you celebrate your 5 years of being a brewery, right? And being open to the public. That's a huge accomplishment. We're with you. We're 100% in your corner too. That like, how can we help you? What are these other things? And yes, it's making you more money, but it's really making your customer feel special, and no other decorator is going to be doing that, right? So you also have efficient production because now you're using the same exact gang sheets, you're doing the same exact decoration, and you have the convenience of doing the whole order at once, right? The customer has the convenience of ordering everything from you at once, right? So there's that win-win too. And then you also you do pass on some of those cost savings to the customer in the bundle deal, right? So you bundle everything together. Oh, wow. That's a great price for a t-shirt and a koozie, right? That's a great price for a t-shirt and a hat or a little notebook here. Man, a sweatshirt, a hoodie, and a t-shirt, that would be great. That's fantastic. Same logo on both. Man, yeah, that'd be great. Bundle those things together, and now you're boosting up your own revenue as well. I see a whole bunch of help here in here, and that's awesome, man. You guys are awesome in here, talking about some tips for setting up an LLC and different sites that you could use, and that is why I absolutely love the decorating community here, right? So let's see, Hotronics with the goof proof. Larissa, I will chef's kiss with you as well. That is my absolute favorite combination, especially coming from the screen print world. Looks, feels, washes, wears just like a screen print without the need for a dark room or anything, right? Back when I was screen printing in my apartment, it was the bathroom was where I was washing screens out, and there was green emulsion all over the bathtub. When screens were drying, it was don't open the door. Well, what if I have to go to the bathroom? You don't have to go to the bathroom right now because you're going to expose my screens. Girl I was dating at the time still married me, so I did something right along the way. Maybe I made some sweet t-shirts. Who knows, right? So definitely things to keep in mind, but love that, right? So let's see some more ideas here for upselling, right? Like if we're going to do the sweat set, right? We're going to do a t-shirt. We're going to do a sweatshirt. Even this, right? Like what I'm wearing right now, if you see me in my little thing, this is a crew neck sweatshirt with a hoodie pocket, right? It's from Sanmar. It's the Port & Company PC78 PKT. Even something like this, suggesting these out-of-the-box items because you are in the industry, right? I have, like, we'll get to the slide here in a minute, but like the main market that I've served over my entire time in the decorating industry, and the reason I am an apparel decorator is because of bands, right? And they don't know blank t-shirts. I go, what are you looking for? You looking for budget? You looking for something good? Yeah, we want something kind of like a fashionable fit. I got you. And I'm able to throw those recommendations out. Hey, schools that don't allow hoods, right? There's a lot more schools that don't allow hoods because it covers out the kids from the cameras, or they nap in there. At least that's what we used to do. We'd pull our hood up and nap in the back of the classroom, right? But these are growing in popularity. So you say, hey, the kids love the look of the hoodie with the pocket. They love the feel of it, but you can't have hoods. So I'm not even going to recommend hoodies to you. I'm going to recommend, hey, we got this solution that's going to be a win-win for the kids. They're going to want to wear it. You're going to like it because it meets the standards for the dress code for the school. And bam, you're winning, right? So whether it be different print locations, whether it be the different styles that you could offer, you're going to start to kind of lead your customer down this road that's going to start building trust, right? There's so much trust in our industry, especially as a custom decorator. People are going to come to you with an idea in their head, and you need to be able to bring that to life. And they're going to trust you to do that because you should get paid up front. So like, okay, here's a mock-up. This is what it's going to be. Okay, cool. That's exactly what I envisioned. That'll help you close the deal right there. But if it doesn't turn out like you showed them or like how they imagine, they're not going to be satisfied. And just like with the packaging, we have to be so conscious of this customer experience the whole way through, right? So with this too, we can maximize those gang sheets. So all of this artwork could be on the same sheet. So the print cost is spread out across all of this. Or say in that deal where we're doing t-shirts and we're doing hoodies, all with the same exact artwork, now the per piece cost is lower because we've maximized our quantity on that, right? So which is what screen printing is great for too. So Zoltan says, yeah, love those crew necks. You always need a pocket. You do. I wear this all the time, get tons of compliments. And one thing I will say too, I have a DTF print on this one. That's been washed now about 30 times, and it feels absolutely incredible. And it's just a shining example of the quality of high-quality direct-to-film transfer like Ultra Color Max that you need to feel comfortable after it leaves your shop, right? My worst fear is not that anything fails for me in the shop, is that it looked like it applied okay, but when it reaches my end customer and they wash it a couple times, it fails for them, right? Because then I don't know. I want to have the confidence. And that's something that like working with stalls instead of a little local mom and pop, right? You have 94 years of heat applied technology behind you when you use stalls or Transfer Express, which is really important, right? Because that was when I was a screen printer. Like, oh, heat transfers, nah, right? I bought a screen printed shirt from a screen printer last week. And I washed it and it wasn't cured properly. and half of the design literally washed off. Now, it was a benefit for the LA wildfire victims. So like that was, it's for the whole relief effort. So I felt good about donating the money, whether or not it washed off, right? But it's a really cool piece of artwork. It also cracked. So I think it was undercured. Anything not applied properly, if you're using an iron or maybe one of those inexpensive heat presses from Amazon that don't have consistent time temperature, or you're just guessing on pressure, right? If you're going to make the Betty Crocker recipe off the box and you don't follow the recipe, or you just, I think that was, a half a cup of oil or whatever it is, right? You're eyeballing it. It's not going to turn out how you want it, right? So that's why that having a high quality heat press is paramount when you're doing that decoration. And nothing swayed my way of thinking about, hey, screen print is the only way, until I used transfers from Transfer Express and said, okay, these aren't what I thought they were, right? And held up to people, even screen printers. They at the Impressions Expo, they had a screen print and a DTF print right underneath some glass and said which one is which, and you literally couldn't tell. Literally couldn't tell which one was which. That heat transfers, the technology is right there. It is phenomenal, and you don't need the investment into any of this equipment or the room to run it. You could operate a full-service t-shirt business out of an office, a spare bedroom, a basement, the back of your van, right? A garage. Makes it so super easy. So you're rambling again, Dave. Yes, I know. Carol asks, what's the item number? It is the PC78PKT, so a Portland company. There it is. Man, perfect in there. And Steve says, yeah, that's what this is what the this is what the community is for, is all of this information in here. The paper poly company might have been Millcraft. It may have been. I feel like I would have remembered if it was Millcraft, because one of the places that I worked, our offset paper came from Millcraft, and I was very familiar with them. So it was not Millcraft. It was somebody else other than Millcraft. But Millcraft may have solutions. They always have some cool stuff there. So one of the things when I talk about upselling, right, is the good, better, best model. And this is tried and true, and you absolutely need to take advantage of it as an apparel decorator, especially if you're running a custom business. You go into Starbucks, right? They have 3 prices on their menu, although some of them are now simplified and just show you the middle price for the grande. But there's tall, grande, and venti, or small, medium, and large, if you don't like calling them weird names like Starbucks likes to do. But again, we all know what those things mean, because Starbucks is this brand. It's this entire experience, right? So when we start looking at marketing, it goes far beyond t-shirt companies, right? But they have this model, good, better, best. McDonald's does it. Everybody does it. Wendy's, small, medium, large, biggie size, right? I don't even know what a biggie size is, because if you get a medium at Wendy's, it is 40 ounces. It's far too much for me. But do the same thing with t-shirts here, right? So look at our examples, right? I have 3 options here. Portland Company PC 450, the Next Level 3600, and then a Comfort Colors 1717 as our best option. Now, if I say good is 520 and your customer, you talk to your customer, hey, what do you need? Let me find the solution for you. We're looking for like a pretty basic, like we want it to be a kind of nice shirt, but we don't want to spend too much on it. And you go, well, what's your budget? And they're like, we don't really know. We know we want to stay under a certain amount, but could we have some options, right? What would you do? I'm going to give them 3 options, right? One's going to be the absolute lowest bare bones price that I could get, right? While also not sacrificing my quality. I'm not going to go buy a super budget tee that's going to shrink and nobody's going to want to wear, right? Or it's going to shrink weird in that, like I talk about, that sleeve just like shrinks up and it's 2 inches shorter than the other one. And like, I don't want to wear that, right? I don't want to wear something that's like commonly mis-sewn, or like sometimes those like up here on the sleeve, they'll like come to a peak because they're just mis-sewn and they're cheaply made. Those are not even in my vocabulary. Even if a customer comes to me and says like, hey, well, I want this like super cheap tee. I know this one's super cheap. I'm going to go, you sure? Because I could get you something a lot higher quality that people are actually going to want to wear for pretty much the same price, right? And they're probably going to go with that option. So here, I love the PC 450. So I don't want to necessarily put this as like this good option, but it feels very similar to a Next Level 3600. Now, Next Level 3600 has been my go-to shirt the 15 years that I've been decorating apparel, especially for the band and artist and music industry that I've always been a part of, right? So, but say, I don't know what quantity this is. I was just kind of fooling around with pricing, but say this is for 24 or 36 quantity, right? So we could get you good ones at $5 a piece. Cool. Better is going to be $603, just 80 some cents more, right? Or we could go to the best option, which is going to be a whole $3.55 or $3.30 more than what your original good option is. And you want to know what the customer's probably going to pick here? They're probably going to pick the middle option, where we're going to be making 70 cents or more, 80 cents or more on every single shirt, right? Which we're going to mark that up. So all your garments should be marked up at least 100 times, right? So, or 100%. So you're going to be 2 times the cost of it. So our shirt here's, whatever, $3, $2.88 or whatever. So like, boom, you got it, right? So it makes it so super easy to find the solution for your customers that fits their needs, fits their budget, and leaves them stoked. So super happy that, wow, Dave really walked us through this, gave us those 3 quotes. That was the one that we wanted. I'm so glad that we went with this little bit more upgraded premium option. It really, really was exactly what we needed, and it still fit our budget, right? And if they're so happy about it, when somebody says, hey, those stay cute shirts with the raccoon on them, I love that merch. Who did that for you guys? Hey, let me tell you about my dude Dave, right? He went through all these options for us. He asked about our budget, wanted to know what we were going to do, and said, hey, man, maybe that cheapest option isn't going to be the best. What do you think of that shirt? Man, I love this shirt. It's one of my favorite that I own now, right? Exactly. Dave helped me get there. And that's going to be the stuff that you're going to build into your experience with your customers, where like they are never even going to consider going somewhere else, right? So here we go. We go back in, and Kathy said she made it, had another webinar at the same time. And that's okay, Kathy. We're going to be here for you all the time. Let's see. Humberto says, can we make football uniform mock-ups on the EasyView Online Designer? 100%. Absolutely can. Chiquita says, where does the Tall-Tex brand fit in your example? You remember when I said I washed a t-shirt and like the sleeve, like totally just like shrunk up, or like the side seam ended up on the front of the shirt? That's why we don't mention certain brands. And yeah, Corey says they're good for free promos sometimes. Sometimes. All right. All right, we're done with that. Leandra says, can you explain the restrictions with Goofproof when ordering? Why do we have an order of 6 minimum? So with Goofproof, it actually is screens, right? So I actually have one here. So that's a fantastic question, because everybody's new. You might be new to the printing methods, right? So this is a screen. This is a screen printing screen. What essentially, we make a stencil on it, and we take a squeegee. Of course, with automatic presses, I'm not back there pulling squeegees anymore, right? But this is essentially the basics of screen printing. So we would make a stencil here. So we would fill in any areas of the screen. You can see through it, right? There's Dave behind the screen. That we are going to push ink through. So Ultracolor Max is printed very similarly to like a desktop printer, just the printers are much larger, the inks are much more vibrant, they're heated so that it removes any moisture so it doesn't mix into the inks. The inks are always agitated, and the print heads are state-of-the-art, right, to get you super fine resolution. So it is a digital process. So we're able to print just one. With screen printing, we have to make this stencil, ink up the screen, possibly even custom mix a ink color for you, and then put it on press, have a squeegee that pushes ink through the screen, that then onto a carrier. So it's a whole bunch of setup involved, which is why you see that if you get 6 and you bump to just 12 quantity, that the per piece rate is almost halved. Like if it's, $12 at 6 quantity, and then it drops to like $5.80 or $6 at 12 quantity, that's why. Because a lot of that initial cost is in the setup, which makes screen print transfers wonderful and super cost effective at higher runs. If you're doing small under 6 pieces, Ultracolor Max is 100% your go-to. Even if it is just like a single color print, like I'm wearing on my shirt, right? If I was just doing one of these, which I was, I don't need a Goofproof transfer, right? I can't feel this print, right? Ultra Color Max is very smooth, soft, and pliable, right? But we need the setup with the screens, inks, emulsion, all of that hassle that I used to hate when I was screen printing. Transfer Express takes care of all of it for you. So all you have to do is fire up your heat press in Heat Press and Profit. But that's for those jobs that are a little bit more, a little bit higher quantity. Hope that explains what they are. So yes. Warp and Woof. Yes. We're not going to mention those brands anymore, right? So we're getting into the brand story, and we're on the home stretch here with the tips, because this is the 4th out of 5th tip. So the brand story, right? This is where we're going to make an emotional connection. We're going to build trust and credibility and really flex a lot of that customer loyalty, right? So we want them to not ever even consider going anywhere else. And we've already covered a few ways that we could make our customers so happy that they're not even going to go check our price against custom ink, right? And this is something that I personally deal with to this day, right? Now, I haven't done like full-time decorating, and I'm super sorry that the fonts dropped out here. I don't know what's going on with our slideshow here today, but this is something that I really connect with, right? So I have a picture of band merch here on the screen, because that is why I got into the decorating industry anyway, right? Went to art school, was playing in a whole bunch of bands, and I was a musician, and well, I still am, right? You're never not a musician, but I needed merch for my band. We were broke college kids, right? So we didn't have a couple $100 laying around to buy band merch that we didn't know if we were going to sell. We didn't even know if people were going to show up to the show on Thursday or Friday night, right? But we wanted to be able to sell money to start making money so we could buy studio time or whatever it was, right? That was our why. And I still tell the story to this day because it is still very near and dear to me. And you want to know what? 15 years later, just yesterday, my buddy calls me up. Hey, man. Everybody knows me as the t-shirt guy, right? Been in the industry so long. Hey man, we want to set up an online store for my band. We're just a cover band, but like we want to sell some merch, right? And you want to know what I did? I set up an online store for him, right? Because I'm the t-shirt guy. He could go to Printful or Printify or Shopify and stand up his own web store. He doesn't know what t-shirts to buy. He doesn't know what people are buying. He doesn't know what the trends are, right? So very easily, I'm able to stand up a store and start producing for him, right? And start selling t-shirts. I know they're also going to ask, hey, we have a show coming up. Can we get a run of at least 24 shirts? We want to be able to sell them at the merch booth, right? I know that's coming, right? I know that on top of t-shirts, my band sold posters. We sold women's t-shirts. We sold flags. We sold can coolers. We gave away stickers, right? So like, I understand it. I relate to the audience. I know their needs, and I know what's going to help them, right? Now, granted, I feel like that story of like, I was a musician and I needed to print shirts for my band is like what 99% of screen printers you talk to are, right? But I'm going to walk them through everything. Hey, I chose this shirt because it's budget friendly. People are going to want to wear it, right? Yes, you could get a cheaper shirt, but is that the brand you want to be known for? Hey, we're talking in conversation. I go, hey, you guys here, we have islands out on Lake Erie that are pretty much only there for the summertime. That people live on them year round, but the ice freezes up around it. But like, it is a vacation spot, right? People go for the weekend, have a good time, let their hair down, right? And I say, hey, you guys always do, your cover band plays out on the islands over the summer, right? How about some tank tops? Man, we weren't even thinking about that. That's perfect. We would love to put some tank tops on the online store, right? Because I was thinking ahead for them. I'm solving their problems. I'm thinking of the merch that people are going to want to buy from them that's going to make them money. I know when I was in a band and we were out gigging all the time, we barely made money from the ticket sales, right? The record sales, we didn't see a dime of. And we sold records, but we didn't see a dime of that money. Merch was the only thing that consistently put money in our pockets to fuel up the van to go to the next show, right? Or to feed us that night at Taco Bell, whatever it may be, right? So I relate it to the audience, right? I have my why. All you need to do is put your own pieces of the puzzle together, right? So what's your current passion? What's your why? Is it your creativity, right? Are you going to come up with creative designs and creative solutions for whatever your niche is? Are you a supporter of the local school, right? Maybe your kid goes there, right? It's your hometown. You already have that pride. You've been a supporter. You haven't missed a football game in 33 years. Whatever it may be, right? That's your why. I met a decorator out Salt Lake City, JC Pro Design, Justin Leader, fantastic guy, right? Had his own supplement company and kept buying trash and was like, I can't sell this, right? My brand is premium. It's athletic wear, right? It's this, and there's scorch boxes on it. Like, I can't sell this. I'm just going to start making my own, right? And now he's a huge commercial contract shop, just voted best screen printer in Utah, right? Like 10 years later, or even less than that. Maybe he's only been in business like 6 or 7 years now. But like, that's his why. It was quality. I was unhappy with every other option around here. And I set myself apart by hanging the hat on quality, right? And for me, hey, I understand that you don't have money. I was there. I was a broke college kid, right? Your band just needs 12 shirts so you have something for the merch booth. I got you. And I'm going to try to hook you up, and I'm not going to rip you off, right? Because I know that when I printed for my band, people came up, hey, those shirts are awesome. Who designed that? Who printed that? Oh, I did. Hey, could we get that? Hey, who did that drum head cover? That's so cool that your band has branding on the drum head. Who did that? Where can I get that? Oh, you can? Right? I became this resource for everybody that I met in the industry. And I didn't even have to market, right? I was just doing it on the side for my own band. But that's just a story of how easy it is that when you niche down and solve a very specific problem, you're going to win, right? So leading with the value and what sets you apart is really going to stand you up, right? Whether you are proud to support the local community, born and raised here, this is my hometown, I believe in it. I believe in a better future, right? That's your why, right? And that's going to set you apart on your values. If you are eco-conscious, right? Hey, we use All Made. We exclusively use All Made. That's sustainably sourced, 100% organic cotton or made from 100% recycled polyester. That is what we do because we believe in the planet. We're all about getting plastic out of the oceans. This is what we do. And to back it up, on the weekends, we go out and plant trees, you know, with the local community programs. We go out and pick up garbage along the highway because we believe in a more sustainable and a cleaner future, right? Talk the talk, you walk the walk. People are going to notice, right? Then when you're picking up trash, you have a huge QR code that says like, help support us. And it's, you go buy a t-shirt online, right? Great idea. Like get it going, right? Absolutely phenomenal things that you could do with your brand story. I'm going to hope these slides don't get weirder as we go on. We are in the home stretch. We're wrapping it up, right? But as you start to use that brand story, whether you're doing it in your engagement and your marketing or just conversations or your social media marketing, right? You'll see so many people on social media now putting themselves and their why. They show the hustle. They show the drive that they have. They show that they're an entrepreneur and a creative, even if you don't feel comfortable showing your face, right? It's, I have one here, right? This is a phone mount, right? I use it to create content here at Transfer Express. It's like a little necklace thing. You put it around. So this is one way you could do it, right? It goes around the neck. I click my phone in right here. And whatever I do, I'm now hands-free. I could use both of my hands and I'm creating content, right? People love seeing the behind the scenes. They want to see you be the expert, right? They want to see the work. It's not math in high school here, show the work, right? They want to see you at work, right? Whether it be at a heat press, whether it be picking up trash and walking the walk and talking the talk, right? But they love that transparency because like I mentioned, apparel decorating is built on trust, 100% built on trust because somebody's going to give you money to bring their not real idea or their brand or their logo or whatever it is to life. And when you're transparent and they could trust you on social media, even before you make they make a transaction with you, right? You're already winning and you're already winning that sale because do you trust Custom Ink or whoever's going to show up first on Google when you type in custom t-shirts? No, they're going to trust you. They're going to think of you. That's why people still come to me. Bands I haven't seen play live in 10 years still call me up and go, hey, Dave, you still doing shirts? And sometimes I'm out on the road in LA or at Impressions Expo or PPAI or, coming up, all these other shows, Atlantic City, right? And I don't have the time to, but I still know the contacts and I still want to help them out, right? I don't want to say no. So I still outsource it in some way or hook them up with a local printer to be able to do it, right? But if the one thing too is like the services that you do, right? Say you do hoodies and you could do sweatpants and maybe even do backpacks, right? If you don't show it, people don't see it. So like as you're building this trust and credibility, sometimes it could get monotonous, right? And that's the one kind of most tedious part of marketing, is that marketing isn't saying 100 things, right? Marketing is about saying one thing 100 times. I'm your expert for all merchandise related to band merch, right? How are different ways you could say that? Whether it be, hey, here's the can coolers, here's the koozies, right? But it's building that trust and credibility. But you could use those customer stories then too. Whether it be, hey, I helped so-and-so out with can koozies, right? Little can coolers that they gave away at a show to drive people to the merch booth, and do a little case study on it. Hey, because we used to do it. I knew it because I understand the market. I understand the audience, right? Because I'm in it. You don't have to look far, right? You're in a book club. You know that you need tote bags for books, right? You know that you should support the local library or the local bookstore, right? Like, partner with those people. It's not too far beyond your door, especially when you're just getting started and you don't have to be overwhelmed, right? The hardest part to get started is literally just start doing. Nobody's going to be great, right? If you're familiar with Mr. Beast on YouTube, right? He said, like, I made 100 videos not to go viral. I made every single video out of those 100 to just be better than the last one. That's all you have to do. Just do better than your last one. You'll learn something along the way. Hey, oh, wow, I figured out how to edit that easier. Or, hey, I found that there's templates that I could literally just upload my little footage to, and it makes a professional looking reel ready to go. And I could film a month of content in a couple hours or so, whatever it is, right? But you use those customer stories, those testimonials. Hey, we did this with this band, and they gave away free merch or free koozies at the end of the show to bring people to their merch booth, and they increase their sales of t-shirts by X amount, whatever it might be, right? We used to do it with stickers. Come get a free sticker after the show. And just because people were standing at the booth, they go, oh, that shirt's only $25. Okay, I'll buy one, right? But these were the customer stories that we would bring to life. And I mean, honestly, I should have brought them to life on social media back then, but I want you to take your customer stories, take those success milestones, or celebrating that big event, celebrating that the local team going to states, right? Where, like, you could celebrate those, and that is your voice. They see, oh, wow, you know, you serve your local community. Wow, every little local community event or happening or art festival or art fair or the new plays opening at the high school, they're always posting about it. They look like an expert. I'm going to follow them just to stay up to date on this stuff. But when you need apparel, then they're watching, right? You've built that loyalty already with your audience. All these things. Just be human too, right? You don't have to be super, personable or even show your face. This is Mel's Crafty Corner, but like right here, she focuses so much on like positivity and like mental health, right? She's in the medical field. She is a registered nurse. So like, that's her brand. That's her personality, right? And it's all about feeling better about yourself and being positive and staying positive and thinking positive. She built her business in some of the darkest times in the healthcare industry during the pandemic, right? When there was no light at the end of the tunnel. And she used it as an outlet for herself. And because she was authentic, people latched onto it. She was authentic about the struggles of what they were going through at her local hospital. She was coming home and talking about it. And as her own way of processing it and helping others who were in the same boat, right? She started making apparel and it blew up, right? Not because of TikTok, because she was authentic. It would have happened on Instagram too, right? So this is all the stuff of like, just be you, and then that community will come, right? When you are authentic, you build that content and it comes. One great example, if you're not already subscribed over on the Stalls TV YouTube channel, is Cash Cow, right? We have this whole series that we do behind the brand, and Cash Cow is one of those, again, from the music industry, right? But you'll see how they go from the music industry to a retail storefront to some of the largest names in hip hop and R&B and the music industry at large wearing their apparel and just absolutely blowing them up in this fashion space that you see these people in. And it happens just like that. But you have to make the stuff. You have to put the effort in, right? But they built this emotional connection with both people who were involved with them in music, or like Romo, who's the owner of it, says, if you just like cows, right? They have this double-edged sword, right? They differentiate themselves from the competition. Who else is doing cow stuff, right? Who else is doing these high-end premium stuff? And you'll see the pricing right here on the slide, $300, $250, $500. They sell out of this stuff, right? They've built this following, and they are this elevated brand from a small town in Pennsylvania. It truly is a just incredible story, right? And they use a lot of the products, the screen print transfers, they use puff transfers, they use direct-to-film transfers, and a lot of these patches are the chenille patches from Stalls or twill patches, right? So they're using these products to create these truly high-end products. And if you watch the video or go interact with them in the store, you'll hear that, like Romo says, like, we fell in love with the store, right? It was people coming in and feeling the vibe, right? There's only so much we could do online. And so that is that brand authenticity. Come in, see that we're real, and see that, like, oh man, these dudes talk to me like they're friends, right? Long lost friends. I feel like I found my tribe, right? That's one thing that you could absolutely do. Their consistent messaging is always cash cows, right? It came from their kind of musical group, the Moolah Gang, right? Moo as in M-O-O, like cows, right? It's all consistent messaging, and they encourage so much engagement from like the local schools or how involved they are in local high school sports. Share, tag us, right? And it builds this brand so that when they do a drop, right, that limited edition right before the beginning of the school year, all of the kids going back to high school flock to the store. We got to grab it, because if I don't have it to wear on the first day of school, man, I'm never going to be able to get it. I'm never going to be able to live this down. So that's the hype that they build, right? So our last section here, of course, is expanding the product line, whether you're selling to the same customer or upselling that new customer. We've already talked about the goof-proof transfers, right? So using the gang sheet for all of these extra items, or hitting those quantity breaks like we talked about with screen printing too. So you're going to enhance that customer loyalty by providing solutions. Hey, you got a golf tournament coming up. We're doing the golf towels. Yes, of course. Do you want to do some coolers for like the VIPs? Get some branded like soft shell coolers to bring around? Yeah, let's do it, right? And it might not cost you anything extra. In fact, it might lower the per piece rate of everything else you're printing, right? There's a great video over on the Transfer Express YouTube page specifically related to golf, where we show you with one gang sheet how many products, from pin flags to coolers to t-shirts to quarter zips to polos, that you could print with just one gang sheet, right? So whole bunch of stuff that you could do there. It helps you stay competitive, because Custom Ink ain't suggesting that, right? They're going to miss that opportunity if they're just going to go pay to the lowest bidder, and you're never going to win on a race to the bottom on price, right? Just like we were talking about, I forgot who asked about it, like, hey, I lose a lot of business to Mexico. You're never going to lose, or you're never going to win chasing somebody at the bottom, because you're not going to profit. And to start and build your business, you're going to need to push profit in your pocket to build your business up. If you're not making money, the business ain't going to be around for long, right? You need to make money. And always, one tip, just completely aside, even when you're just getting started, you're going to be tempted to lower that price, right? Be sure to pay yourself. Always account for your time. And that's a mistake that I made very, very early on, right? And I got so discouraged. I'm doing all this work. Oh, man, I'm doing all this work and I'm not making any money, because I wasn't accounting for my time. I was accounting for the cost and taxes and shipping and all this other stuff. And like, it felt endless that at the end of the month, I just didn't have money. How? I printed 2,000 shirts this month. That's huge for me, man. How do I not have any money? Because I wasn't accounting for my time. Please account for your time. Please pay yourself. You are worth it, right? I believe you're worth it. You believe you're worth it. Pay yourself. And then when you get to that stage where you need to hire somebody, well, guess what? It's not as big of an adjustment, because you've been paying yourself the entire time, right? Whether you are investing a little bit back into the business, or you're taking that all as your take-home pay, right? And you'll hear a lot of business owners and the big ones of the world say, like, I ran a business for 5 years and never paid myself, right? Because I believed in my brand and I paid other people. And I'm like, in that case, yeah, maybe. But if you have other people doing the work, you probably still have an income coming in. There's not too many people that I know with the luxury of being able to survive in today's economy without an income coming in, right? And whether you're a side hustle or you're just getting started and this is your, you work a 9 to 5 somewhere else and you come home and you have your 5 to 9. This is your 5 to 9, right? This is the time that you start to build that revenue for yourself, right? And that's where you're going to get it in. And providing all of these solutions, at one point, the scales are going to tip and you're going to be charging double of what custom ink is. Okay, maybe not double, but you'll be charging a couple more bucks, and nobody's even going to bat an eye because you're providing the differentiation and value and all those extra services, right? So here's just a full list you could screenshot of all the stuff that you could print with just a heat press. Pretty much if it fits under a heat press, it prints t-shirts, hoodies, sweatshirts, right? Tote bags, cinch sacks, garden flags, right? Ultra Color Max on a garden flag for those local school districts, proud parent of, number 22 on the basketball team, make those, right? You're serving that market with spirit wear and sportswear for the local community. Make those garden flags, right? People are proud to display them. And you could charge a premium for them because they have customization, custom names or custom numbers, even a photo of the kid, right? Put it on there. Rally towels for all these events, the golf towels, hoodies or crew necks, joggers, sweatpants like we talked about, even the matching sets, pennants like that Dublin pennant, right? The retro kind of sports and spirit wear stuff. We even see those used for merch from motorcycle shops to retail stores, right? There's a whole bunch of stuff that you have. So lunch bags, coolers, stadium seats, backpacks, tote bags, whatever it may be, right? So I really want to thank you guys so much for hanging out here today. I don't know what's going on with our slides. We're going to have to figure this out before the next one, but I really appreciate you guys hanging out. Let's see, going through and just looking at a lot of the chat. I want to make sure I didn't miss anything. We did try to kind of fly through the bottom here and make sure we had it. Yeah, Dave has the best webinars. Thank you so much. And that's why they're so long. They are not short by any means, but it's so much to get through. I really thought we were going to get closer to an hour today, but we got off on some of these stories, and I really hope that there's these actionables and these ideas that you could take immediately to your business right now, start applying them. Or today's the day that hopefully I inspired you to be like, you know what? We're starting the Instagram account today. This is it. Today is the day, right? Because starting is the hardest part, right? Getting the stone rolling is the hardest way. Once you get that inertia going, it's just going to keep rolling. It's going to get going faster and faster and faster. I will say too, it's really daunting when you look at other companies. You start to compare yourself to other companies who have been doing this for years, right? They're already up the mountain. They're already up here. You're starting down here, and it could look really intimidating when you look up. But focus on those actionable steps, the game plan. All right, this week I'm starting the Instagram, and I'm going to start marketing to my local community by advertising the local services that I could do, right? Or I'm going to post about that job that I did last week and have all those photos when I did those summer camp shirts, right? Because I want to get the summer camp work, right? Whatever it may be. I'm going to get my LLC next week, right? Start setting these goals, right? And these actionable steps that you are in control of. It's not, I'm going to make $20,000 this month. Is that in your control? Sure. You could go out and spend a lot of time in money marketing, but that's a goal that you don't have 100% complete absolute control over. Now saying, I am going to cold call or I'm going to visit 10 local businesses this week. That is 100% in your control that you could check off and accomplish, right? So go do it. All of these little steps, whatever they may be, right? I'm going to set up my Shopify store. I'm going to get photos done. I'm going to dedicate time to take product photos so that I can have social media content to show. I'm going to place that sample order of Ultra Color Max, right? Because I want to take photos of just that one piece. Whatever it is, those little steps. And then if you take one of those little steps every single day, I guarantee it, in 2 or 3 months, you look back and you are halfway up that mountain. And it didn't even feel like you were climbing it, right? You just have to stay driven, stay focused. And when you're in control of the goals, man, it feels good to check them off the list, right? You feel like you're accomplishing something. And just like that Mr. Beast analogy, right? Where it's like, I didn't try, when I was making videos, I didn't try to go viral. I made 100 videos before I even had 100 views. I just wanted to make a video, and the next video I wanted to make better because I learned something from making the other video. And look at him now. Got a show on Amazon Prime. Right? So the future is very bright when you take those steps to get there, right? Here at Transfer Express, 100% in your corner every single step of the way. You'll find on-demand education that is absolutely free to use all over the internet and on YouTube, right? Here, even these webinars, right? So all of this. Leandra said, all the years, never knew this. Good at explaining. I thank you so much for that. here to help you and your business succeed. Miriam S., do you consult? I do not. But come find me at a show. Let's talk about your business, right? Come to a webinar. Come to the next webinar. We could do, if we don't have content that's going to get us through 2 hours of time, we'll definitely be here to help your business out. I currently do not. Lexi asks, what do you use to set up online stores for customers? I use this little software called Fulfill Engine. So this is it. This is this online store that I stood up. It looks awful because it's not focused, but this is the online store. Set that up in an hour, right? From koozies to drinkware, t-shirts, everything else. And a little nice header. Website, done. Check out Fulfill Engine. There are tons of videos over on the Stalls TV channel. Go to fulfillengine.com or stalls.com/Fulfill Engine. The one thing that you could do is just schedule a free demo. It takes about half an hour, 35 minutes. You'll meet with a software tech who's going to ask you about your business, right? Because if it's not a good fit, we're not going to try to get Fulfill Engine set up for you if it's not going to do what you want it to do. We want to ensure that you're going to have success with it. And we want to ensure that you're looking to, sell online. You're looking to easily stand up online stores. You're looking to decorate yourself or maybe even distribute. And they'll get you in a plan that is the right fit for you. So maybe you don't have to pay for it, right? A monthly subscription, unless, you need to, because you're not going to use all those features and functionality and you just need to pay as you use it, right? It's the best thing. One-time onboarding fee. And then you could use it how little or as much as you want. Even if you're already using Order My Gear, you could couple it to the back end for like no upfront cost and pay when you use it. Like, it is a phenomenal program that if you are interested in selling online, go check Fulfill Engine out. But it already looks like, Fulfill Engine can set up online stores. That's it. Corey says, I always tell him you could download a song, you can't download a shirt. Yep. And that's what my old boss always used to say too, especially with like business cards, because it was an offset. We did offset printing, sticker printing, everything, right? T-shirt printing. And you would always say like, one day the paper side's going to die. That was 10 years ago now at this point. Paper printing has not died at all. It is even more like personal than ever because we're so used to email and you have to make a conscious decision to look at a postcard and go, nah, and throw it away, right? So you actually touch it. It's tangible. And especially when they're high end, I got a new business card right here, right? Got a business card. That's the first one out of my wallet. Everything else is in my wallet because they're regular business cards, but this is thick. It's tangible. It was, it's not, I don't want it to be in my wallet. It's too thick, right? So it's on my desk and I look at it every single day, right? So paper printing obviously has not gone anywhere, but you could download a business card. You could download an email. You could download a flyer. You could download a poster. You can never download a t-shirt. That's right. That's absolutely right. Humberto says, how could I connect a full invention store to a YouTube channel or an Instagram account? You would do it through Shopify would be the best way to do that. Is set up a Shopify store that can integrate with that and then connect Fulfill Engine on the back end. That would be the only way. Or, they have white label online stores. So when you want to put in your, what is your product, just drop the Fulfill Engine URL in there and it would be able to plug in. But Humberto, go to stalls.com/Fulfill Engine and just request a demo. And I guarantee the specialists on the Fulfill Engine software team, they did not go to art school, okay? They're engineers, they're developers. They're software pros that are going to know way more in depth about the software than just a user like me. Let's see. Chiquita says, yeah, a lot of information. I'm so happy that we're able to help. So happy to be able to help. And Humberto, there are a lot of Fulfill Engine videos. Let's see if Mike's able to grab some of those too. So I think Candace did the same thing, right? Not charging that money for your time, right? Steve's got to fly. Thanks, Dave and Mike. It's been a tough day. Condolences to everyone. Yes. We all feel it. Yes. That's very hard to see, especially waking up to the news this morning about that in DC. So absolutely. Brian, you're awesome too. Thanks for coming. Absolutely awesome. Corando, hope to see you in Atlantic City as well. Facebook groups to help you questions regarding sublimation. Yep. The apparel decorating community is awesome. And if you're ever considering getting a DTF printer, just join one of those DTF printing groups and you're very quickly going to go, okay, I'm just going to buy custom. There's way too many issues here. I'm so happy to cover everything from the business side to, the inspiration side. I've been there, right? I know what it's like to be starting out and wanting and having this drive and this entrepreneurial spirit and like the creativity inside you that you want to unleash, right? And don't know exactly what to do. Or, I made way too many mistakes in my years of apparel decorating that if I could share a few of those mistakes and prevent you from making them, man, we all win. We all win. So let's see. I just want to make sure everything here. Carando says, yeah, launched 2 stores with Fulfill Engine. Looks great. Yeah. New idea book is coming soon. Yep, you'll see that marketing kit coming in the next couple weeks. Does inventory feed into Shopify to Fulfill Engine and back? So, Doug, it does. It actually grabs live inventory from all of your connected suppliers. So it'll show you that. And even if, say, that large navy in the next level 3600 goes out of stock, it's actually going to list it as out of stock and unavailable right there on the product page. So you're never going to sell a back ordered item again, which I love, right? So, yeah, stalls.com Fulfill Engine. It's already in there. So I want to thank everybody for hanging out today. We are going to jet. Always here to help. info@transferexpress.com. You could call us at Transfer Express, 1-800-622-2280. And for everything that I have brought you today, whether it be my knowledge or help or just passion for growing this industry and helping you succeed, I could reassure you it is echoed from the front door to the press floor, everywhere at Stalls and Transfer Express. Everybody here for the past 94 years, and I am happy to play just a small portion of that. But everybody here at Stalls has been here to help your business succeed. We wouldn't have been around for 94 years in the decorating industry here, even before screen printing was really a thing, right? Without helping businesses succeed. So we are here in your corner every single time, whether you have any questions, troubles, concerns. But please, we love hearing your successes. Share them with us on the Facebook groups, share them with other decorators, or come to one of the trade shows and share them with me in person. But until next time, I am so happy you joined us here today. I hope you're fired up. Let's have the best year ever, 2025. Here we go. Happy pressing.